Hey, welcome to another episode of Cesar's Modern Life. My name is Cesar Rodriguez, and I'm back in the studio. World's still on fire, so I'm reconnecting with my friends. So this week we have my friend from the Rodriguez Show. His name is Yael. How's it going, man?
It's going good. We chilling out here.
Chilling. Yeah, man. He's hanging out with me in the studio. We usually meet beforehand to set up because it takes a while now to set up the show because we have cameras now and we're doing the whole thing. How are you today, man?
I'm good. Yeah, day off today. I feel good.
Yeah, Tuesdays. Yeah, me and Yael also happen to work together. So we both take Tuesdays off to record the show. That's how dedicated we are to the Rodriguez Show.
Yeah, I need a whole day so I can prepare. So I can have a good day to come in with a good mindset,
Yeah, there you go. See? I do too. I usually for the Rodriguez Show, it's like, damn, what are we gonna do this week? And that's what I think about all day on Tuesday. So if I'm working, it's just another layer of stress.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, man. So you've been on the show for the Rodriguez Show how long now?
What is it, 2 years?
2 years? Because this summer would be
summer. Yeah, 2 years.
2 years. Yeah. 2 years ago, and how did that happen? It was because we had Omar on the show, right?
Yeah, because we had Omar, and then Omar invited me, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I would like to go. And
I would like to see what's going on.
I would like to see what's going on there. Yeah, exactly. And I pulled up, and I sat in the little cubes right there.
Yeah.
And I just watched you guys do the magic.
And
that was when you guys still had ADM.
ADM and See God when he was called See God.
It was See God, not just Carlos.
It was See God back in the day. I don't know why he changed it. Because he's like, I don't want to be sacrilegious. That's what it was.
Yeah.
You started as an intern. That's what we called you guys at the beginning because you were just there to watch and help if we needed it.
Yeah.
And then Omar just left, so it was just you now. And so you've been doing it for 2 years now. What is the biggest change you've seen in the show?
In 2 years? It's like no offense to back then, but it's just so much better now.
Why?
I feel like the segments now are better. The interviews with the artists are better.
Yeah.
We have video now. We just have so much shit that we're doing, and it's I've seen a lot of progress in those 2 years. It's just overall it's changed in a positive way. Yeah.
I think it's definitely easier to kind of narrow down and it's a formula now that we put into the show. This is what's happening, this break, this, and then bam, it's way more organized. And when it comes to guests too, I feel like the interviews. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's only gets better because of practice. So the more interviews I'm doing, the easier it's going to be to interview people, and the more interesting they're going to be.
Exactly.
But it is one of the challenges. It is we have to have that filter of hey, look, we have to pick who's coming on the show, because there's been times where, and we're not naming names, but we're saying there's people that have been on the show because we were it'd be good to help this person out. Because we know them, and then it might not be the vibe that we were going for. Yeah, and it's what the fuck, and then we learn to okay, maybe we should just trust ourselves as to hey, if we don't want this person on the show, then
and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. And people have gotten mad at us, big mad,
big mad on the comments.
Well, so what about you? What have you learned from the show?
Well, what do you mean? Just what I have, what have I learned, hand on, or lessons that I've learned, or
is there anything you've learned from the show? Anything at all? If it is a technical skill, then but
you guys have taught me how to move shit around here. Obviously, how to set up. I didn't know how to set up. Now it's I can practically set up myself if you weren't here. I'm able to do that now. The video shit, but lessons I learned. This is probably besides my relationship, the only thing I've committed to. It's taught me to commit to things, because I come here every Tuesday, and it's rare when I don't come, you feel me? And it's I'm one of those people, or I was one of those people that would have so many ideas and be I'm gonna do this, but I would never go through with it. And with this, it's I want to do something with this. You feel me?
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing, because that's always been my problem, and
not following
I need
through.
to cut the shit. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. And I think it's true. I think it's in this environment. I don't know I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but I expect a lot from people. Like, if we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing this the right way.
Yeah.
I feel like. And it has to be. Then that's the biggest challenge we've had on the show, I think, is just getting everybody on board to commit 100% to what we're doing.
Yeah, and it's cool to see that, like me, that I'm committed, that you're committed, that Carlos and Mondo, like, they're always here. They're always we're doing shit, like, outside of just Tuesdays. Yeah. Like, it gets me also motivated, like, to, like, seeing Carlos, like, shoot and shit, like, motivated me to, like, go out and, like, shoot. I'm just shooting, like, random shit now, and I'm, like, liking my pictures, you know? Like...
And that's what happened, right? That it was, you were like, oh, maybe I should do this, and then you're like, oh, I should really do this.
I should really do this. Like, it's like, and it's something I like too. So it's like, it's dope. Yeah. I fuck with this.
Well, that's exciting. I'm glad that you found some sort of purpose to be here, because that's what it comes down to, is the people that come in. Because we've had a lot of people that come in and even and not just like ADM was somebody that, you know, he said to leave for his own reasons, but people behind the scenes that are like, yeah, let me help out, and then they come for like a couple weeks and then they disappear. So it's good that people are committed. It's a challenge to be the person that's expecting that from people, but I mean, you have to at a certain point, because it's like, there's other situations like a job that you're just doing it for the money, where you're like, okay, I'm committed to a certain extent. But when it's something like this where there is no money, it's like you have to be committed because you feel committed.
Yeah. Because you see something too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you see something. So let's talk about you. I don't know how deep you want to get into it, but you're not from the United States. You're not born here, right?
No. Definitely.
So when did your parents come here, or what's that story?
Well, I was born in Guadalajara. I lived there up to like 6 years old.
Yeah.
Like 6.5.
Do you remember anything?
Yeah, I remember like going to like school and shit, like some of the places I would go, like the church, the plazas, the malls and shit like that. But it's like faded memories.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
as much as anybody our age.
It's all blurry, you know? Like, I don't really know if that's what it looks like anymore. Yeah. Or if I'm just, like, dreaming shit. You know, because, like, don't you get, like... when I took psychology, it was, like, this thing where you, like, dream about something so much that you think it's a memory.
That you think it really happened.
Yeah, you think it really happened. Like, so now I'm just thinking, like, is it just because, like... I'm dreaming it that I'm like remember, because I really don't remember, because I told my mom what I remember and she's like, it didn't look like that, and I'm like, oh well, shit. You know?
Yeah, I have that with my parents said that I broke. They said, but I don't know if they said that, because now my mom has a bad memory, and I tell her, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. They said that I threw a vase at my grandma and it broke on her head.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, do I remember? Because I know that I was like a horrible kid when I was a little kid. Do you remember that as like something I made up? And then my mom, she's like, I don't know, but I also don't remember anything. So, no. So that's how it is about like the things you remember at school and like how Mexico was.
Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah. So up to 6.5 years old, I went to TJ for like a couple months. Mm-hmm. And we lived there with my grandma, my dad's mom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was like a house, and then she had like a bunch of dogs and bunnies and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So it was dope. Like, I liked it because it was like a lot of like running, a lot of like being on bikes and shit like that. And then we came over here.
Yeah, we just Orange County, Santa Ana.
Yeah. Well, first I went over with one of my uncles. Mm-hmm. To North Hollywood. Okay. And we were there for like a month or two, and then I went over with my mom's side of the family. At the courtyards, it's like Santa Ana, you know, like by South Coast, by South Coast. Yeah. Yeah, and we lived there, and I've been living in the same area like since I got here.
Damn.
Yeah, all the apartments I've like lived in are like I've been around the block of Sunflower and Flower. Yeah.
Well, shout out to you, man. Went to the same high school, Cesar.
Yeah, and same middle school.
MacArthur, yeah.
MacArthur, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about MacArthur is I don't remember any of the stuff that happened. I don't remember unless I might remember.
Anna told me, she's like, when I first talked to her, she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you from MacArthur," and I was like, "From where?" So you went to MacArthur?
What is that?
Yeah.
So you're a DACA student, right?
Yeah.
So how complicated is that process?
It's complicated, and it just got so much more complicated today.
Today, because of what the president did.
Like, we have to renew every 2 years, bro. That's not like easy money. Like, that's like something you have to save up for. Well, like, it's like half a check, you know? It's like boom, like $600 and shit, you know?
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years I have to pay that. Like,
what
I've been getting waivers like the last 2 times I did it, but just because my mom's like very involved with like organizations and like the community and shit like that because of church. Yeah. So she like knows like places that can help out. So I've been doing that. Yeah. But yeah, like before that I would have to pay the $500 like every single time. And now it's every year.
Now he said every year.
I don't know if the price is changing, but I hope it does. Yeah.
But they're doing it on purpose.
Of course.
Yeah. Just so people can't do it.
No more like no new recipients like. That's it. No one can like fill in an application anymore. That fucking sucks. Yeah. Because I know like obviously like so many people that like didn't get the chance to get it, and it just sucks because they can't even fucking work.
Well, yeah, because for some people, my family included, they were too scared to take their kids to the office because they thought that if they were there, and they'd be like, "Well, where are your papers?" and then they'd be like, "Well, they can. Your kid can stay, but you have to go." Yeah. So I'd have to drive all my cousins to their appointment because of that.
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly what happened to me too. Because my cousin Brandon. Yeah. Bonbon.
Yeah, shut up, Brandon.
Yeah. He would take me to my appointments because that's what my parents would say too.
They're too scared.
Too scared.
So with the whole conversation of DACA always in the news, do you feel that paranoia?
It's not paranoia. It's
not paranoia because it's not
frustration.
Like because people are. Paranoia implies that there might not be somebody out to get you or something, but there's people opposing this.
Yeah, I'm not paranoid about like the cops or me like getting deported or anything like that. Like, yeah. No, it's just more like it's frustrating like having to go through that and shit. Yeah. And it's like you're paying so much and it's still so limited, like shit that you can do. Like it sucks, you know?
Yeah, because even right now with the current president, you can't really travel.
I have traveled.
Yeah.
Like during like this presidency, but like I can't obviously I can't go out of the country.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Yeah. You can travel like within the country, but you can't.
But I can't go out of the country.
Yeah, so like the Mexico that you're picturing, you can't see it yet because.
Yeah, no. Until like, what if the next president like doesn't do anything about it either? You know.
Yeah, and that's a real fear because it's like.
Like I might I'm considering moving to a whole different country, bro, because it's like, you know.
I think at this point. We all are considering
right?
that. Yeah, but I have a cousin that moved to Canada. I don't know why, because I don't really talk to her like that. But it looked like it worked out for her.
Yeah, well, you see, it doesn't sound bad. It's frustrating to live a life like this and knowing that my parents aren't like, you know, they're going through even a like worse situation. It just sucks. It's like it's not a good feeling.
Yeah. No, I understand. I mean, I don't understand because obviously I don't feel that threat because lucky that but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but that's why like our generation, we're the ones that like have to step it up and be there for our families and shit to like do something for them, you know?
Yeah. Do you try to do that with your family?
I wake up thinking about that every day. Like, that's like the first thought that goes into my head.
Is how are you helping your family?
It's like damn, like like I want to help my parents out, and I'm an only child. Yeah. If I don't care for my parents, who is? Like no one.
Oh, so it's just you and your
it's just me and my parents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. So that's something. Obviously, you're wanting to take care of your parents, and they passed down a lot of stuff to you. What is something that you see in yourself about your parents, like that you see that this like a trait that you both share?
Oh well, me and my dad are very impatient.
Yeah, that's something too. I was like, you have a very short fuse.
Yeah. I got that from my dad. Is that what it is? It's funny because my mom is just like always like like, bro, like, why are you guys both like this and shit? Yeah, but
true, I've experienced that as well.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's the temper thing. I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're a very smart person. You're very informed, and your parents try to stay informed.
Yeah,
so
my mom is my mom's so smart, dude.
Yeah.
My mom was top tier student in Mexico and shit.
Oh, damn.
She worked for some very big companies over there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So so here, shout out to your mom.
Shout out to my
mom. So something that I ask everybody on the show is, what pain or life event has informed your life, like your perspective in life? Has there been something in your life that's happened, or have you felt something in your life that has changed the way you looked at it?
Probably, I'm gonna say it's definitely not traumatic, but having to go through this pandemic, in my early 20s, kind of fucking sucks, you know?
Yeah, I understand.
And that. Everyone not cooperating, it sucks because I know people of people that have lost others through the pandemic. It's just not a good time for anyone, and that's just
and I think there is a stereotype too with people that are your age, because I see people that are your age, and I'm like, God damn it, these people don't listen.
Yeah,
and it's bad because there is just the early 20s people that are just not.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Trump support older people too, but it is a big people that are consider themselves liberal and are all about let's help other people out. But I'm not gonna wear a mask though, because this shit's not serious.
Yeah,
it is a different thing, because for somebody like you that is trying to experience their early 20s in that way is not. I'm already burnt out of that stuff, but you're this should be your summer.
Yeah, bro.
You should be killing it right now.
I was supposed to be traveling, at least within the United States, you know? Yeah, that was the plan this year. I had obviously everyone else, big plans for 2020 and shit.
And then it all went downhill.
It all went to shit.
Yeah, and then I think that the job insecurity that we have now, me and you, and it's not specific to me and you, it's everybody, is complicated, because we never thought we could be oh shit, because you think even with me, I've had the same job for 11 years. I'd be I'm good, I have the same job, but then they're but they're closing everything down.
You're whoa,
what the fuck is this? All of a sudden. So that's something that we're gonna have to talk to our kids about. When we have kids, it's oh shit, I lived through this. It's not, they can't talk shit about us anymore, or the old people, because they'll be well, we survived this pandemic. What did you do, old person? You probably you probably died from it. But I get it. Yeah, it is a fucked up experience.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, it has changed my perspective on a lot of things.
Yeah,
and what I would think of a lot of people. You know, it's just
that's
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it just feels like everything now, things are fleeting. They're not, nothing really matters as much as hey, I'm not dead and I have a roof over my head, so everything else is just so petty.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've seen that personally. I've seen you change over this year to somebody that's more what am I gonna do? I just got to get this shit done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even we all had that attitude. I had a leisure this year. I was worried about shit that's not important anymore. So you have a girlfriend. Obviously, we know you have a girlfriend, Anna.
Yeah.
Shout out Anna.
Shout out Anna.
Do you want to have kids? Do you think you're gonna get married?
Yeah, dude. We're gonna get married. We're gonna have 2 kids.
You're gonna have 2 kids?
We want a boy and a girl, right? But if we get 2 boys or 2 girls, we're gonna try for the third one. And if it's a girl, whatever gender it is, we're just gonna stop there.
Okay, so as long as you have one of each.
Yeah, but dude, we have we've talked about this so many times about how we're every stage of our life, how it's gonna be and where we're gonna live and shit like that. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I know that
I'd go into it, but it'd be hours. Hours.
If you're still at the same level that you were at a year ago when we did the Rodriguez show Valentine's Day game, then I think you're pretty much there. If somebody could somebody could be at that phase for that long, then I think you're pretty good. Yeah. I don't know, maybe because people are like, oh, people experience stuff 2 or 3 years in. But honestly, if you're in a stable relationship, it doesn't really change much. There's obviously you get used to each other to the point where you're super comfortable, and there's like you have to keep up the date aspect of it, because then you're just hanging out all the time regardless. Yeah. But other than that, like if you're in a stable relationship, there's no like itch to leave if it's good. You know? Yeah. Do you feel like have you ever had that experience before?
Like felt an itch to leave, like
in a different, not with this, obviously not with your current
relationship. This is my only girlfriend.
Your only girlfriend. Like, your only girlfriend you've ever had?
Like girlfriend. Yeah.
Damn. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think a lot of people say, you know, it's like, oh, because it's your girlfriend, like first girlfriend. It's like you're just in love, this and that. It's like, no, like I really think I can start a life with this person. I see the way she is. Yeah. I see how committed she is, and like she just fucking graduated from Fullerton, psych major. She already got a job in her like field. It's like, like why would I leave that? You know, like
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but I feel like people say that just because there's a lot of growing left to do, but the possibility of finding somebody at this age is a real one. I think it happened with my parents, and they were together for however long until my dad died. So it's like it can work. So I don't doubt that it's a possibility.
Yeah, my parents met way younger, had been dating for 8 years. They're both like their first boyfriend, their first girlfriend, you know? Yeah. And they've been together since, like, you know?
And that's the thing about people that come from, like, my parents were the same way, like I just said. So it's like we have this perspective of like, hey, I'm not going to commit to something unless it's 100% serious. Unless it's like with me, I said I'm never going to get married unless it's the person that I'm going to be with forever. So it's like, because we know that you can have that, and it sucks for people that don't believe in love.
It's cool. And the reason why I know like that's like how my life is going to be from now on. Like I'm going to stay with her type shit, you know. It's because like we've talked about how like where we see each other like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years, you know, and it's like our answers like are like parallel to each other, like they like coordinate with each other, so it's like, you know, like
there's no difference.
There's no differences. We're fucking great. Perfect, like period. Like,
well, that's great. I'm glad you found that. Yeah, man. Well, glad you had. We went deep. Now it's the fun part is just what art have you listened to, like a movie or music that you've watched, or you know what I meant? Yeah, that has impacted you recently. Is there anything
in the recent years? Like how long are we talking? Like 2, 3 years, or
whichever? Doesn't matter. Whenever.
Well, the only one that has like made a pretty big impact on me is Blond from recent years, 4 years ago. Yeah.
What is it about that album,
dude? I don't know. Like, it's just. It does something. Like, it's not even like what he like says most of the time. It's just like I've never heard sounds like that in my life, you know. I've never heard production like that. It's like it's like he's one of my favorite artists off of China Orange, and to see like fucking a piece of art like that, like it's just like whoa. And I was like, it changed my perspective on music too, because I was like really into like some other shit, and like I was into like Big Sean, like what the fuck, you know. And funny. Then like this changed, and I was like, whoa, like I went saw credits and shit. I was like, oh, Young Lean's on this. Like, let me check out this Young Lean, you know, like Bon Iver. Like, let me check this guy out, and like I just like expanded from there, and like I just know so much now. It's like, so that's the album that like made an impact, I guess. Yeah.
No, I see that, and it did do that to me too. It's just hard to even explain why. It's just you get a feeling from it.
Yeah, you do get it. It's like one of those special albums. Yeah, and I think the age that it hit me too, it was like, oh, like
it was the perfect age.
Yeah, you know, it came at a perfect time in my life.
Shout out Frank Ocean.
I love you so much. Please drop something. Give me crumbs.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me. Yeah, it was fun to hang out with you and talk to you about stuff, because we don't really usually sit down and talk about this stuff.
Yeah, no.
Because why would we?
Random bullshit. Yeah, we talk about.
If we do, yeah, it is random bullshit that we talk about. It's like, do you hear about this happened? But we do what we do on the Rodriguez show.
Yeah,
when we're not here.
Exactly. That's our life. Like, we just give each other hip hop news.
That's true. But so they can follow your page. I'll put it up too. That way.
Oh yeah.
So your photography page.
Yeah,
right?
it's just pictures I take for fun. Post them if they look
where is
good.
it? What is it?
YVEL is dead.
DEAD.
Yeah,
I'll put it up there.
Sick.
Follow him, and then he's on the Rodriguez show. He's a tech guy. He does all the video. So if you're watching, he helped with this one too. So if you're watching this, it's because of Yael.
Yes, because of me.
All right. So like at the end of the show, I like to mention somewhere you can donate to help a different cause. And because you were talking about DACA and Yael, I wanted to talk about Border Angels. Border Angels promotes a culture of love through advocacy education by creating a social consciousness and engaging in direct action to defend the rights of immigrants and refugees. They've been around since 1984. So they started in northern San Diego, and now they cover the entire U.S.-Mexico border region.
Nice.
You can donate to them at borderangels.org, and I'll put that up as well, borderangels.org. All right, man. Thanks again for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, it's always chill. And thank you for listening. Wear a mask and do your part. Save people's lives. Keep it funky. Keep it fresh. Keep it sexy. And we out.